I have discovered a formula that has unlocked the financial freedom of hundreds of people who have chosen to join the Urban Clean family. This podcast is about what motivates them. This is more than just a business for me. It's a mission. I'm Damien Bohm, and this is the Urban Clean podcast.
Thanks, Damien, and hello. I'm Julia Sirignani for In Profile. On this episode of the Urban Clean podcast, I'm talking to Uvana Sewpersadh. Uvana is an Urban Clean franchisee in Perth South in Western Australia. She decided to buy into the Urban Clean model nearly 2 years ago, and as it turns out, it was a very good and profitable decision to make. Uvana, welcome to the Urban Clean podcast.
Thanks, Julia. Pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you. Now, tell us about your decision to join the Urban Clean family. What is it that you were really looking to create?
So my family and I, we immigrated to Australia in 2016. And as you can imagine, we left quite established lives, businesses, lifestyles behind in South Africa. And we essentially started from scratch. So when we were looking at opportunities, we were looking at something that would secure our retirement and, build a future for our kids. And we started investigating all the franchise opportunities, etc. And we found our way to Urban Clean.
So is this your first venture into commercial cleaning?
Yes. I'd never held a vacuum before.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
I've never held a vacuum before.
Oh, that's amazing. So it really was the business model that made you think, this is the right avenue for our family.
Yes, very much so.
And tell us, where are you operating and how many sites would you say that you're cleaning every day?
So we are based in Perth South, so we service the greater Colburn, Forestdale, Armadale areas. And on average, we clean between 10 to 17 sites a day. In total, currently, we are servicing 58 sites.
Wow, and you started in July, it'll be 2 years.
Yes.
Can you tell us about, actually, I'd like to go back to 2016. And you've got all these different options that you could take. How did you stumble across the Urban Clean brand? And what was it that convinced you that this was the right thing for you?
Okay, so I think when it came to choosing, I looked at lots of industries. And as you know, cleaning industry is almost recession proof. So that was one of the things. The other thing is I have a partner who is a little bit OCD about cleaning.
So you knew that it would be very thorough.
I knew he would be very thorough, and I knew he has a background as a fraud investigator, so he has an eye for detail that's second to none. So I knew those transferable skills would come in, and he would be able to see things other people wouldn't, especially when you have a wife that doesn't know how to vacuum or mop. But when we're doing the investigations, the things I liked about the Urban Clean model was, one, the level of support. I liked that there were very structured processes. I liked that there was lots of feedback and interaction and platforms that allowed us to communicate directly with clients and customers. So there was a level of service accountability that other franchises didn't offer. And that's why we chose Urban Clean.
Now, you talked about your partner's transferable skills and what he was doing. What about you? What's your background and what have you brought to this new venture?
Okay, so this year I'm an occupational therapist by training. So this year will be 24 years that I've been working in that industry. Prior to coming here to Australia, I owned and operated my own therapy practice. And yeah, so when we came here, obviously I came on a skills visa. I was employed, and it wasn't really a good fit for me, essentially, because I hadn't been employed for over 15 years. So I started again on an entrepreneurial journey, looking at options, doing therapy practice part time, and then decided to embark on a new adventure, which was Urban Clean. And the skill set I bring is lots of management experience, lots of people experience, lots of customer service experience. And I think I also bring, coming from a therapy background, there's a level of care that comes. In my interactions with people that you don't ordinarily get from your average so-called cleaning franchisee. Both Sean and I come with very professional backgrounds. So we understand and we can communicate that at that level that people need to have their services delivered at.
You came to this country, you had to completely reinvent yourself. Was it scary?
Terrifying. Terrifying.
And tell us, so how did you find the courage? How did you dig deep to be able to sort of see a path emerge?
I think inherently that's the entrepreneurial journey, isn't it? You kind of muddle away in the dark, and then you find clear waters, and then you swim freely for a while and you enjoy that journey, and then there's another challenge, and then you kind of have to regroup. I think if you want to be in business and you want to be an entrepreneur, digging deep has to be something that comes inherently, because you can't look to other people to give you that. They can give you support and advice, but when the chips are down, it's you that needs to reach in and find the direction to go forward.
Uvana, tell me about Damien's support and how he, in many ways, or if he really sets you up for success, and if so, how does he do that? And how does the Urban Clean model assure that you have a good chance at success?
Yeah, I think one of the nice things is, Damien has lots of franchisees and lots of master franchisors. And what's nice is in WA, we have a master franchise, and I think all over the country that model works. And then what happens is we have that direct contact if we need with our master franchise at the drop of a hat. We can call, we can ask, we can email, so that is there constantly. In addition, we have monthly mentorships in that space as well, where we review our businesses, we review the protocols, we review any challenges we've had, we review our future goals and how we might want to achieve them. When it comes directly to Damien, I've been privileged to have been offered an opportunity to be what's called the Millionaires Club. And I think I'm one of the few franchisees that was offered that platform, which is for people who want to create seven-figure businesses over a period of 5 years. And what happened was we were having direct contact with Damien on a monthly basis. And we would then be taken through things like, how to develop profitable streams within our business, how to look at alternate streams, how to look at developing and growing business with our existing client and growing from there. We also had sales training, we had leadership training, we had recruitment and retention training and staff training. So there were lots of avenues where we were supported to get a little bit more in-depth knowledge, which was really good for our businesses.
It's like you had a masterclass with a master and this
Yes.
direct access to really. And so I guess the question is, you're on a fast track, it sounds like, to success. How is it going? And if you could give me some idea, quantify that. Are you, if you want to talk figures, that'd be great. But if not, how fast has your growth been?
Okay, so we started in July 2022, and I think by the time we went through all the processes, we started cleaning probably end August, early September, and at that point we were 0 sites. Currently, we are 18 months into the journey and at 58 sites. We have had to slow our journey and our growth due to personal circumstances, a change in our personal circumstances. But, that growth trajectory was something that we didn't intend to halt. We wanted to grow our business to greater levels. In one sense, my husband left work in June 2023 so that he could work full time in the business and manage the business full time. We also now have a staff of 3 casuals and 6 contractors. So the team has grown from just Sean and I to something a little bit more substantial.
And what are your goals? If you've had to recalibrate a little, as you said, what are you now hoping that if I was to chat with you in a year or so, you'd say, Julia, this is where we are now?
I think what I'd love for us to be able to do is that we would have a manager in our business and we could, secure that work. And so we wouldn't have to be cleaning. We could do the nitty-gritty of actually focusing on growing our business, not working in our business, because that's what we want. We don't want to be working in the business. We want to be growing. We want to be developing. We want to be traveling and enjoying the benefits of being franchisees. So that's where we would like to be in a year.
That is the ethos, isn't it, of Urban Clean? It's about financial freedom and time freedom, work-life balance. Is that how important has that search for work-life balance been for you? And are you satisfied that you'll get where it is you want to go with that?
Look, work-life balance is a challenge. And you have to make sacrifices, you have to make choices in line with your values and your goals. And John and I are mum to a 10-year-old, and we have the luxury of being able to tailor our lives, our cleans, our schedules, according to where we need to be for her. And I think that's very meaningful for us. And that's the kind of attraction that Urban Clean brings, is that you can secure the lifestyle you want, not just financially, but also from a family perspective, which I think has a lot of value when you have young families.
Uvana, what would your advice be to a new franchisee, somebody who's just getting into the Urban Clean family?
I think you need to have a strong understanding of Urban Clean's values, and you need to have an understanding of whether your values merge with those, because if those two don't talk to each other, then it isn't going to be a good fit. The other thing that's important is that you need to have the good support systems in your own business, depending how you're setting up. So you need to have a good accountant and things like that. And you need to make sure that, all the things that you can automate in your business, that you do, so that it gives you the opportunity to focus on things like growth and development and customer service, which is, how we've started to on our journey, little bits and bobs. And I think then you need to create a growth plan, with some goals and some structure and some time frames. Everybody knows about SMART goals, but you need to actually live those goals in order to be successful.
Uvana, to finish up, tell me about what's the most inspiring experience you've had since you began in July 2022. What's the sort of standout moment as far as, you thought, wow, I'm really, really inspired by what just happened, and it sort of took you to another level?
Yeah. So in October last year, so October 2023, my husband Sean, he had a heart attack while on a site, and
I'm sorry.
that's okay. We lived through it. But
Yeah,
what
tough.
what that allowed us to do was to really look introspectively into our business. He wasn't able, he's still not. He was hospitalized in October. He had a triple bypass and resulted in him not being able to be on the tools for 4 months. Um, what that allowed, or what the urban clean system process allowed us to do, was to manage that business, you know, with almost zero hiccups, you know. So even with in his absence, we were able to regroup. We had the support of Damien and Sean, and we were able to rechart and work out how this would, evolve. And that was really good for us, and that was really inspiring for us, because the fact that we could survive through such challenging times meant to us that we were doing something right. Sean's only started back at work this month, and he's not cleared to do any heavy manual work. So there's no vacuuming and mopping and things like that for a while yet. But what that's allowed him to do is step into a more managerial role and become more customer facing and have more intimate discussions with our customers. And that's resulted in other things, like we've been able to generate new business with our existing customers, etc. And it's allowed us to secure our team, which has been really good for us. Our team's been quite inspiring as well, because over the last 6 months, which has been very volatile for us as a family, our team has stood firm. We haven't lost staff. We've had issues, but we haven't lost staff. We've been able to have continuity in our business. So I think from that point of view, it's been really inspiring for us, Sean and I, that we've chosen correctly, and yeah, and that we're on a path where we will succeed.
Yeah, it's we talk about it. I hear and read and hear Damien talk about the urban clean family, and listening to you, you really do describe the support of a family when you're having those tough times, and somebody who is supporting your recovery and getting through
Yes,
those tough times. Uvana, I've really enjoyed speaking with you. I wish Sean good health,
thank you.
and you as a couple and as Urban Clean franchisees great success.